Hi, my name is Maria Keegan, and I am the Chief Operating Officer and Manager of Asavet Veterinary Charities. It is my privilege to introduce Dr. Carter Neal, Chief Executive Officer of Asavet Charities, and Alex Saavedra, Lead Technician. Tell me why it is so important that our community have access to affordable spay and neuter services and why Asavet needs more funding support.
Spay and neuter has been so integral to reducing euthanasia rates across the country and in Arizona since about the 1970s, when some members of the veterinary community and animal sheltering realized that pet overpopulation was becoming an issue, and we were euthanizing up to 70 million animals a year, is what I was read until the 70s. This year to date, I think nationwide, we're down to less than 1 million animals being euthanized a year in shelters. And that is surely for the fact of animal sheltering and in conjunction with spay and neuter. Spay and neuter is the key. And I started to realize that when I got involved at the Humane Society down in Nogales in 2001, all these animals were just reproducing in litters and litters coming to shelters. And I saw this again at the Humane Society in Tucson when I was there for 8 years. And spay and neuter services for people who can't otherwise afford it is integral to reducing euthanasia rates across the country and in our own community. This is even more so important in rural areas, underserved and tribal areas, where they just don't have access to basic wellness services for vaccines and spay and neuter. In addition, with the veterinary shortage that we've been suffering on an industry level for the last 5-10 years, it's been really hard to find vets that will focus on spay neuter as their modality of practice. And I just discovered early on that I felt better being involved in this process. I saw directly how it improved the lives of animals in these rural and tribal communities, and also helped reduce the impact on the animal sheltering. All these county facilities that have so many animals, and we've got to reduce the pet population. And you only can do that through spay neuter.
Dr. Neal, if Asavet received $30,000 in grant funding, what would your team be able to provide for the community? Do you have a specific plan for how the funds would be used?
Well, we have targeted some specific communities that really struggle to come up with the money, even a $10 or $20 copay to get their animals spayed or neutered. And so we have specific communities that we know we can get spay and neuter to them, but unfortunately, with county monies having been diverted, we've lost some of the grant money for those communities. The other big issue is this feral TNR program that was instituted by Best Friends in Pima County about 12 years ago, and they have capped the amount of money that we have available to do feral TNR. And we always overstretch because of public demand the monthly amount we're receiving from the county. It is incredible to see what's happened to cat intake at Pima County. When this feral program got started, they had 2 full-time equivalents euthanizing animals all day long. They don't have that anymore. And the cat intake at Pima County has been drastically reduced. Euthanasia has been almost virtually eliminated for lack of a home, simply because of this feral TNR program. And those monies are really strapped right now with the county going through budget cuts. And the community continues to bring us more animals than we could have funding for. So basically, the feral cat, the community cat programs are integral to directly impacting Pima County's euthanasia rates. And then also these large dogs in these rural communities that end up at county facilities. We've got to get into these communities and get access for large dogs, spay and neuter.
Share one highlight about the impact Asavet's work has made on Southern Arizona's community as a whole.
It's really hard to share just one instance, but overall, I think that when we visit different places such as the reservation, it is making a huge impact in giving people that access to spay neuter, and not just spay neuter, but other resources, education and vet care for these pets that wouldn't have any.
We would very much like to thank the Community Foundation of Southern Arizona for considering us for this grant, and also for your path support.